It's a great customer experience. One of the things that I like most about it is that it's unexpected. So people come in and they don't expect to see a farmer's market in the library, and they get excited. And I think it opens their minds a little bit to what a library is, that we're not just a repository for books. We're a place in the community where people can come and get their needs met. That people think of the library as a place to solve community problems, whether it's to start talking about child hunger and food insecurity, or rather implementing solutions to combat things like that.
That's it. $40 to feed 2 people for the entire week. That means that I'm having to pick up oodles and noodles, or having to pick up the frozen pizzas or something of that nature. Nothing really healthy, nothing really sustainable for my child and I. So the farmers market helps me at least, you know, I come here every other month maybe. I'm able to pick up, you know, all this fresh food, and it'll last me a long time.
Here at Maine, we have not so much a food desert as a food swamp. There's like expensive food on Main Street, and not a lot of fresh food, fruits and vegetables. You have to go down to the supermarket, and so I thought this would be a nice idea.
I think really because folks of all different backgrounds come to a library. You get a plethora of communities that all come and congregate here. And so I think having a farmer's market, where part of that vision and the initial setup was having a market for all.
You know, it's just a better way of living, healthier way of eating. And it helps me with the kind of money that I have, the budget that I'm on.
The concept from the market came about from Essie Plants the Seed. So last summer, partnership with DHEC and DSS and a few other agencies about getting libraries to do a farmers market or a market once a month, as well as provide free books to youth every time that market occurred, and also some taste testing and other nice treats for that audience. And so I invited Tracy Allen, who's the director of the Maine Library for Richland Library. And I said, Tracy, I think you would really like this concept, because at that time I was thinking maybe you would be interested in replicating that Essie Plants the Seed model.
Well, we got started because I had seen another model somewhere else, and I'd gone to visit a library that had a farmer's market, and I thought we really need to have that at Maine.
And when Tracy Allen came on board as our new Director of Library Experience here at Maine, she began working with Ashley, and Ashley had the bright idea to put a farmer's market here in the library. We were a little wary at first. We weren't sure that the library was the perfect fit for a farmer's market, and there were some behind the scenes things to work out in terms of people selling things in our spaces. Could we do it out on the sidewalk? Did we need to work with the city for that? But Tracy really pushed it through and felt strongly that it was the right thing to do. So we started with a 6-week pilot just to try it out and see how it went, and people loved it so much from day one that we knew we couldn't stop. We're big on piloting things, and so we feel like if you can try something, there's little risk in trying something for a short period of time. And so we decided, okay, we'll just try it and see what happens. And again, it was so popular with both staff and customers that once we saw it in action, there was no way that we couldn't keep doing it.
People like pilots. That means it has a definite beginning and end. And we'll pilot this and see how we like it. We'll pilot this and see how it goes. If we have it's taking a lot of staff time, or if it's unusable space that we need for something. So we pilot it from November to end of January. And it was a big success, and nobody wanted to stop. So I think if you can tell your upper management that we can try something and be okay for it to stop if it doesn't work. I think that it's important that we are at a central place like this. The farmers market's here where people can get fresh fruits and vegetables and produce at some place where everybody's welcome, everybody's equal. We take WIC, we take SNAP, food stamps, so that everybody can participate. I think it's invaluable to the community. We're on a bus route so that people who don't have a car can get here. people who are coming to the library anyway. You know, they're coming here anyway for a program or for a book or something, and it's very convenient to know that, hey, I'll go on Wednesday because that's when they have the farmers market.
We offer staff enrollment at Richland Library, and one thing I've noticed over the course of the past couple of months is that we've seen an increase in people who are coming in asking about SNAP benefits and how to enroll, and asking all sorts of questions. And so once we opened the market, I thought, well, how awesome would it be, since the market already accepts SNAP, if we did that here, so that when customers come in, if they're not able to purchase fruits and vegetables today, maybe next week, week after next, when they get approved for SNAP, they're able to come shop at our market. The customers have been super excited about it. Our first time we had her here, she had a line. We had to turn people away, say, okay, come back again tomorrow. We'll be here again tomorrow. So the word's definitely getting out. People need it. It's really accessible when they can just kind of walk in and sit down with somebody one-on-one and do the application. She knows the ins and outs of the application. She's had customers come back over and over again who said, okay, great, this happened like you said it would, or this didn't happen like I thought. So now she kind of knows what are some of the errors that you might see. So I think the reception has been great, and the library has been super open to us being here.
So my daughter is the only one who actually receives food stamps card because I'm her guardian. It's under my name, but that means that I get less than $200 to feed her for the entire month, and people shop $200 for half of a week. You know, so with the farmers market, how I'm able to get healthier food instead of just junk food all the time with her, I'm able to get vegetables instead of frozen foods or canned foods, to be able to actually feed her and keep her healthy. When you're shopping with just that little bit of money and you can come here and get 10 pounds of fresh vegetables, it makes a great big difference in how it is that you're able to provide a healthier meal for your children and for yourself.
I think the biggest benefit is that they have access to affordable, healthy produce in a place where they're already coming. So people are already coming to the library. The library is a place they know that they're welcome, and then they can get needs met, and now they have another need that they can get met at the library. And again, I think it opens people's eyes to what a library really is.
I think the customers, that's the best thing of all, because even a person who comes in and says, oh yeah, I would have gotten this at the supermarket, now we've given them a recipe and they're standing next to somebody else who says, oh, I cook this all the time. We say, well, what is this? And there's all these kinds of conversations that they're having, gathering at the library to talk about food, talk about healthy eating, talk about how do you cook something.
I think it's huge. I think number one, price point. So the price point where you can get 12 pounds for $10. So Monday at Sand Hills, the gentleman is a retired individual who's over the produce section at a grocery store. And he says, I've been pricing out my box every week. And he says, last week my box, he said, I probably would have paid about $32 at the grocery store, but I only paid $10 for it. So to have someone that was used to doing price checking and labeling say that you saved $22 and only paid $10, that's huge. And so sharing that with people, one, it's a good bang for his buck, but secondly, that all forms are welcome. So folks come up and they're like, well, do you accept cards? Cards are accepted. Do you accept cash? Cash is accepted. Do you accept SNAP? SNAP and WIC are accepted. So pretty much also all of the forms of popular payments are also accepted. And so there are some folks that have said they no longer purchase their produce in the store. They now purchase all of their produce for their family at the farmers market, at the library. So when you hear stories like that, you see that this is huge. And when you hear how folks have changed their diets, folks are eating healthier, folks are trying new fruits and vegetables.
Well, it's like 5 blocks from where I live. It's right downtown. It's in a public location where everyone knows, and we don't have to. Most markets are like so far away. The population that I'm around, we don't have transportation. We don't have our own vehicles. We only have the bus route or our own feet. So it's perfect location where I can walk here, walk back, or take the bus, because the bus stops directly across the street from it.
It's just kind of this community that also has formed around this kind of this farmers market at the library concept. So I really think this is great what's happening here, and hopefully this kind of idea, this concept can spread.
Where can you get this for $10, guys?
food is such an important part of health and wellness that it really kind of is the underpinning for a lot of what we're doing. We're seeing our staff come and use the market and buy produce here. We have a wellness challenge that we just completed among our staff, and so it was great to see them post on our little internal social network about the things they'd bought at the market and the things they'd cooked.
I think that people are coming to the library for the farmers market on Wednesdays. We are downtown, so people will come across the street on their lunch hour and pick up their produce, and they may not have come to the library otherwise, because some people don't think they need the library. They haven't been to the library in a long time, and they think, oh, that's for when I have my kids, But now they come in, they see that there's all kinds of other things that are going on, and they see that that this is a place that has something for them.
One thing I think, it makes it a lot more convenient, right? If you're coming into the library, I mean, at least for staff, we're here, from 9 to whenever anyway. So I know that I'm buying more fresh fruits and vegetables because I can walk downstairs, I have it, and I'm able to, also get a cookbook right on the inside, and I'm able to kind of do two things at one time.
My advice would be try it. Give it a try. Nothing bad can happen from one farmer's market in your library, but you might be surprised what good can come from it. And just to know your policies, know your internal policies regarding people selling things in the library, address those with your board if things need to be changed, because it really is worth it. And we've seen such a benefit for our customers, for our staff, and for our community. So because we had changed the meeting room policy to allow for-profit businesses to come in and use the space as long as they were doing something that aligns with our mission, it opened the door for us to be able to have the market. And I would suggest that any library look at that, because historically libraries have really been closed down to anyone who's not a nonprofit. But if we want to be supporting our business community and supporting entrepreneurship, we really need to be looking at our policies and making sure that we're open to those groups as well.
I think you need a champion for it. I think you should make sure you go out and see it. Get a champion for it, get some reliable vendors, and make sure that you let people know that it's here. And I think it's important to get people that are local.
And then the SNAP at the market has been super successful. She's been busy every single week that she's here. There are different ways to go about that, right? You could contact your local college or university and see their interns who might be interested in coming and setting up at your local library. There's also the benefit bank. So SC Thrive runs that system, in which they may have counselors that are already in your area who are looking for a place to set up. And so they'd be more than happy to come set up at your local library. So maybe trying one of those two avenues, both are free of charge, to see if you can get someone in your library to help do SNAP at the market and maybe provide some other services to your clients. So if you're able at your library to do it, I encourage you to try and see and push forward.
But now that we have it and we see how seamless it is, it's going to we're having other libraries now, and it's doing well, and people are really happy about it. And we're doing partnerships with schools, and we're having entrepreneur programs coming in, and young people are starting to sell their fruits and vegetables and their wares. So it's really growing, and you can see that it was something that the community needed.
And hopefully this kind of idea, this concept can spread to other places across the state, particularly these areas that the only place that folks are purchasing food from may be a Dollar General, maybe a Family Dollar that doesn't have really an abundance of fresh anything. So really, how can we try to get more of this kind of concept in those locations? So I'm really interested as we continue to move forward. How do we try to get more of those food deserts and those rural areas, to see that maybe a farmer's market can help kind of get in this food desert conversation, and you can kind of help bridge the gap for folks in your community?
Well, I think libraries are a great place for social interactions, communities to gather together to solve community problems, place for people to come and just meet and congregate and do things they can't do at home, meeting spaces and maker spaces, and getting your children to be able to play with other children and all those kinds of things for free. I mean, it's one of the last places that is free to everybody, and I think that the farmers market is part of that. And just being the place that everybody can come and get what they need. And everybody needs something else. Some people just need to print, some people need a book, some people need, some peppers, in the middle of the day.